With play, I've heard it described as the new Ed era. What does the new Ed era look and sound like?
Well, I think by default it is that because it's the new album. But it's I don't know. It's colourful, bright. Oh, it's like colourful, bright, celebratory, and explorative. Explorative, is that a word? Yeah.
I think so.
I travelled the world and made it in different cultures and different studios with musicians from everywhere. So yeah, it's very much a kind of world album.
And why? Why did you have that drive?
Well, do you know what? I come from, you're here now, I come from a really small farming sort of county in Suffolk, and I have travelled the world for the last 15 years, and it's opened my eyes to a lot of things, but mostly music and different ways of writing, different ways of playing, different instruments, different languages, and yeah, I feel like I dipped into it a little bit on Divide when I was travelling on Divide, but I think the tours we've been doing recently have been way more international, and yeah, and I think also the people I worked with on the record kind of allowed me to explore it without feeling like I sort of need someone who knows the culture well to take my hand and lead me through it rather than just going in blind. So like Ilya, who I made Azizam with, is Persian, and he essentially, I mean, he taught me Farsi for the song, you know, like we explored that. Or Sarvan, who I did Sapphire with, again, we went to India, we created the song, we got all sorts of amazing Indian musicians on it. Arijit Singh, who's arguably the best singer in the world. And yeah, it's just me doing fun things. I feel like music is meant to be constantly learning, and like I think that when I made my first album, that was what I knew at that time, and then since then, traveling my second album, I got to work with people like Pharrell and Rick Rubin and Benny Blanco and stuff like that, and that was my learning of America culture. And then Divide was more traveling, and Equals was a lockdown album, Subtract was an album about grief, and then this one's kind of back to exploring again.
And joy and playfulness.
Yeah.
And did you actually experience that yourself making it?
Yeah. I mean, we finished the album in Goa with my family. I mean, it's pretty. We talk about heat. That's hot. Yeah. That's hot. I mean, you'd sort of get there, you'd shower, and you'd go out and be like, I shouldn't have bothered. But yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, we basically had this, I guess, like a beach resort on this. It was like on a beach, and we turned 4 of the villas into studios, and one studio was like just for Indian instruments. So all day we'd have, you know, tablas coming in or centaurs coming in, and all these amazing musicians that would play on it. And then one studio was like finishing song, one was just for my vocals, and then one was for writing songs. And I just sort of like went from one to the other.
Yeah, you have been described as a man. You have an energy. You have the energy of a man running. Do you ever stop?
Yeah, I think it's important to stop, but it's also, when I stop, and then I don't do anything. But when I'm on, I do everything. So I think it's important to have an on and an off switch. I think if you're always on a level of like 30%, it's good for nothing. You're not going to be achieving the best thing you can do, and you're not going to be living and relaxing the best you can. So I think I'm very much a very black and white.
So when you're on, you're completely on. I mean, that in itself is pretty exhausting, isn't it?
I think I have a good balance because I've got kids now, so I can't just be out. You know, this is why the studio's so close to my house. I I work school hours, 9 till 3, get home. Yeah, I live a pretty normal life, and then I've got shows on weekends.
What do the kids make of their dad? Do they know you're a pop star?
Yeah, I don't really know. You know, they're quite young. They're 4 and 3. They've got to a point where they like the music. They've learnt the music. They sing along to the songs. But yeah, I don't know really. I mean, they notice when people ask for photos and stuff like that, and yeah, but they're not of an age where even their like schoolmates would know. You know, it would only be if a parent said something.
I know you've historically been very protective of your children's images. How's that going?
What I find difficult about protecting children's images is like me as a stranger to someone else's child, if I took a photo, of a child that I didn't know in a playground, I think the parent would be like, "Why are you doing that? That's a little bit weird." But I think that, I don't know, there's kind of a acceptance with celebrities that it's normal to film people's kids and stuff like that. So it's a constant thing. It's a constant conversation of, if anyone takes a picture of my kids, I go up and have the conversation and go, "Please, can you delete it? Like, we don't have their images everywhere, and I'd really appreciate that."
And do most people do that? Do they abide?
No, I've had some real arguments before.
Really?
Yeah, real arguments. Because I just, it should, like, I'm fine with taking like, anytime, I'm fine with it. But I don't know. I just think it's weird with a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old. And yeah, I mean, there's a rule here with the paparazzi have to blur the faces, which is good. But in America, they don't have to do that. I don't know what it's like in Australia, but yeah, I do find it intrusive.
Yeah, and very difficult to protect your children being who you are. I mean, everyone wants to take a photo of you, don't they? And therefore your children are part of that.
No, because I think you just pick and choose how you do things. So I would never, ever, ever bring them on like a work thing. They would come to gigs, but they wouldn't ever be like outside a stage, or in they're not places where they would be visible.
No, but I mean, if you walk down the street, people recognise you. If you're in a park with your kids.
So this is why I stopped living in London, basically. But here it's different here. Like, I'm very much like part of the furniture here, and people are very respectful, and they do leave us alone.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Do they protect you? Do they put their arms around you? Do you get that?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. It's kind of like it's definitely protection, and it's a sense of like ownership. So it's like I love it because people are very, very protective of me and my family here. But it's just a thing. Yeah.
It's nice. One of your singles from your new album is Old Phone. Is it true that you haven't had a phone for the last decade?
Do you know what? I trialed having one about 2 months ago because it had been 10 years, and I was like, it's been 10 years, and I lasted a week and got rid of it again. Yeah. I like my process. I have emails, and they all go into folders of like urgent, work, personal, too long didn't read, family, and you put them all in, and I reply to urgent every single day. And I'd say like maybe once every 2 weeks, I'll go through all of them and reply to all of them, and people get proper replies. I find with text messages or WhatsApp or stuff like that, I would open it and then sort of be distracted and then just forget to reply, and I would not be speaking to people properly, whereas I feel like I'm actually in touch with people in email, but it's on my terms.
But so, I mean, most people can't go a moment without their phone.
Yeah, but we used to. Like, so I have this argument all the time with people where they're like, "Oh, you can do it because assistants and managers and blah, blah, blah." But, like, I didn't have a phone until I was, like, 15. My parents didn't have phones until they were, like, in their 40s. Like, people did used to live life without phones. It's just that our life has become so centered around the phone, but you still can communicate with people, and really, you don't need to be in touch with 400 people. You don't. Like, how many best friends do you think you have?
Oh, a small group.
Yeah. And do you think you could keep in touch with them without texting them every day? Could you see them once a week? Maybe.
Maybe. No, not really.
Once
not once
a
a week.
Do they live all over the world, or do they live where you live?
Yeah, it's just life, isn't it? But I mean, in terms of not using a phone, I got a sense that was about better communication with your friends, that...
Yeah, totally. I mean, when I see my friends, I see them, yeah. But I wouldn't even say my friends email me. Like, I'm emailing different, like, it might be this artist, like, if I have an artist on tour, I always give them my email. I'm just like, anytime you've got any advice, so sometimes it's stuff like that, or it's like family members for a catch-up. But I'd say most of my friends I see here when I see them. Like, I literally came from my mate's son's second birthday that all my mates are at to come here. So you kind of see them there and you catch up there, and I don't know, it's a bit
You had
more...
a 2-year-old's birthday party this morning?
Yeah.
After a concert last night?
Yeah. Yeah, he's my wife's godson though, so you can't be like, I'm not gonna go. Yeah, we love them.
They might have given you a leave pass.
Nah, I wouldn't want to. And again, I have kids. I was up anyway. Like, that was, yeah.
God, how different is life now for you than when you first started out?
Well, I was in bed at 11:30 yesterday after the gig. I came off stage at 10:30, and it's a 40-minute drive home. So that, for me, is different than 10 years ago. Because 10 years ago when I played Wembley, we were out all night, and then we did it again, and then we were out all night, and then we did it again. And then, so it's a bit more, I'm more sensible now.
Do you miss that lifestyle at all?
No. I think I lived my 20s, and I think fatherhood came at a time where I was sort of winding it down anyway. Yeah. And I think, like, I don't know, I think you should sometimes know when to finish things when it's good, you know? Like, it hadn't got bad yet, so I think it was a good time to step away.
You said earlier in this chat that that your last album was about grief. Have you recovered from that grief?
I don't think you ever really recover from grief. I think it's always there. Someone described it like a book on a bookshelf that is constantly there that you can take out and read whenever you want. I think I feel different about it now. Like, there's more like remembering happy memories rather than it all being sadness, and like, yeah. So I feel different about the grief, but I wouldn't say that you're ever over grief. I think it's just always there.
Do you take the book off the shelf very often these days?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, because I'm in touch with his mum and sister like all the time, so we're constantly talking about him.
And you like that?
Yeah, I think it's good to keep a memory alive, and allow yourself to feel the feelings.
You displayed your feelings very openly at concerts and performing. You spoke about it a lot. Are you happy that you did that? I mean, was that something that you look back on now? And
Yeah, I think as an artist, you kind of have, that's the only option really, is that's your main outlet for emotion. So yeah, it's definitely a different way of dealing with it, or, you know, on a very public level, but I can't think of any other way of doing it. That's what I've always done. I've always written songs about things that happen in my life.
it shows a huge amount of vulnerability. Did you feel exposed?
In a sense, yeah, but I feel like I've always been exposed. I feel like my entire life has been me going, this is what's going on in my life at this time. So in a sense, yeah, but I think and I think also there's a connection with your audience that gets deeper through stuff like that. Like, I'd say by no means is Subtract my biggest selling album, but it's definitely my most important album within my fan base. Like, I know that for a fact just from speaking to them. Like, it means stuff to people. So I think it's important to do records like that.
Obviously, there's a difference between grief and depression, and you've talked too about your battles with feeling very high and very low. How's that battle going?
Good. I think in terms of like the happiness levels, I think it's good. For me recently, it's been more like energy levels, where it's been up and down, which apparently is linked to it as well. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's again, it's not something that just goes. It's something that's managed, and I think I'm managing.
Does the therapy of writing music, writing songs always work?
I would say it's better than nothing. Yeah, I would say that at least you get something positive and beautiful out of a bad situation. Like, if I've had a bad day and write a song, I can always look back and be like, the bad day was worth it for the song, if that makes sense.
I didn't realise that you were such good friends with Shane Warne as well.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty terrible time. You had Michael Gudinski passing.
Yeah. And Shane and then Jamal. And it was all, Shane died the first day of the court case. I literally walked out of the first day of being in court to that news. Like, it was, yeah. Yeah. He was a fun guy, though.
Did it put that court case into some sort of perspective for you?
Yeah. Yeah, it really did, actually. It really did. I mean, that court case is like I had to do it because it was the right thing to do. But but it all felt a bit pointless at the time. It felt like a waste of the court's time. It felt like a waste of the other side's time. It felt like a huge waste of like resources and money and lawyers' time. It all felt a bit pointless. But I feel like those, it had only really been the blurred lines case that had gone to court. All the other court things had been settled out of court, and that was like a trend where people would kind of just pay things to go away because the publicity of it is very negative. Like, it's 8 years of people thinking that I've stolen something and I'm not allowed to say that I have or haven't. But I felt like I wanted to draw a line in the sand, both in United States and in the United Kingdom, of like, I didn't do this, and also this practice of ambulance chasing if a song sounds like another song needs to stop.
So there are two pretty good reasons for it not to be pointless: your own reputation, and also to...
Yeah, no, I'm just saying what it felt like. It felt like a month sitting there where you can see the other side doesn't want to be there either, and every day they're coming up and being like, can we just stop this? And I'm like, we're here now, like, let's see it through,
And do you think you achieved it? Did you set the record straight on your reputation?
Well, no, there's always going to be a stain on my reputation, always, because there was 8 years of people saying that was the case. So there'll always be a stain. But like the Dua Lipa case just got chucked out for, it was reference to the Thinking Out Loud case. So I think that it's definitely done something in helping change the narrative around it. And I'm not saying that writers shouldn't be credited. I'm just saying when it's basically just down to like honesty. Anytime I've been in the studio and I've been influenced by a song, we've gone and credited the song that we've been influenced by. I'm just saying in those two particular cases, I wasn't influenced by either song, and I proved in court both times that was the case. And I think it should be less about like shaking down artists and more about, I don't know, like honest conversations. Like, I'd like to think that if they came to me and said, did you do this? And I was like, I promise you I didn't, that they'd be like, cool. After looking at all the times that I had, credited people in the past.
Yeah. Does it hurt?
No. I'm actually really happy I did it. It was both times. I mean, it's quite an unpleasant experience, or that whole thing. But I'm really pleased that I did it both times.
I guess what I mean is, does it hurt to be described as a thief? Plagiarist?
Well, again, yes and no. I know my abilities, and I know, I know that when we're in studio and it sort of sounds like another song, we're going to have to sort this out when we get to it, and everyone agrees at the time when that happens. And then when the song's done, we go and sort out the publishing splits. And I know, and you can speak to any one of the people that I collaborate with, that is just a practice that we do. So, I know I'm not being dishonest in either of those situations. So, it doesn't really hurt on that level, but obviously, like, it's kind of like school, isn't it? If someone thinks something about you that isn't true, you get frustrated about it. But it's different on a global level when it's like hundreds of millions of people think it. You can't change their mind. So, yeah, they think what they think. But there's so many misconceptions about me as well. So this kind of like, that's part and parcel of being in the spotlight.
What are some of the other misconceptions?
Oh, I don't know. Well, one of them is that I think because I don't put my kids' images on social media, that either I don't have kids or I don't see my kids. And I think that social media is a thing where I think, like, if it's not on social media, people don't think that it's happened. Like, I have a friend that's been off social media for a year, and every time people see him, they're like, are you all right? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. I just haven't been posting Instagram stories. Like, it's a weird relationship.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're pushing against a tide?
No. With what?
Well, just turning your back on that type of stuff. Not being, your attitude to it is vastly different to a lot of people. They live for it and live on it.
Oh, social media.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say I don't live on it. I'm on social media. I'm not off social media. I posted a bit video of me singing with Westlife yesterday, but I think there's a difference of being like I'm not personally on it. I'm professionally on it, and anything I post is to feed back into my career through my professional page.
When did you work out this would be your career?
When I was about 11, I think. I was like, this is what I love doing, and it was also the only thing that I'd kind of excelled in any capacity. And yeah, I had a very supportive dad who was like, if this is what you want to do, then you just have to like start doing it now and work really hard. Which is interesting. I mean, we were talking about Hunter earlier, but like you don't have to, like if there are certain jobs that you don't have to have qualifications for, and being a musician is one of them. You can just learn as you go and experience and trying and failing and picking yourself back up and, you know, writing a bad song, then learning how to write a good song, doing a bad gig, learning how to do a good gig. Like it's not something that you learn in a classroom. Probably like interviewing, to be honest. I mean, like you can't learn people's body language in a classroom, can you? You have to do this over and over again to learn how to do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure quite how to read your body language.
Right.
If I had to characterise it, I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you characterise mine?
No, I think you look very prepared.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
In terms of your you being good at this is the thing that you're good at. Was there a moment, was there an artist that you saw and there was a light bulb moment for you?
Yeah, it was going to see Damien Rice with my dad. I think, I'd picked up a guitar. I started learning rock music. I put a band together when I was at school and I thought that's what you do. You play rock music and you're in a band. And I went to go and see Damien Rice at an under-18s gig in Dublin with my dad and my cousin. It's quite a novel gig because adults couldn't get in without a kid. So I was my dad's chaperone. It's like at 2 p.m. or something like that. And I remember watching him on stage and it was just him and an acoustic guitar and being like, oh, wow, you don't need a band. And I think I could do this. And that's not me, but I've had a conversation with him about it. It's not me saying like, I can be better or anything. I just think when you see someone with an acoustic guitar playing, it doesn't seem like out of the realms of possibility for you to pick up an acoustic guitar and do the same thing. And I think that's what's, one, I think being good about my career, but two, I think like has grated people about me as a artist, because I think I am quite normal and ordinary blokish, look like your brother who works in a pizza shop thing. And I think people can't quantify or explain the success because they're like, well, it's just, and I think that's the point around it is I'm doing essentially my version of what Damien Rice did when I was a kid watching, and hopefully, I know that there are even singer-songwriters that I have on tour now, like Miles Smith said that he picked up guitar because of the A-Team. Like, people see me with a guitar and go, I can do that, and now they're having their own careers 10, 15 years later. So it is I think the acoustic guitar is such a like portable, great instrument. You can write songs on it and take it anywhere and play songs, and it sort of allows for so much freedom.
If you hadn't picked up the guitar, if you hadn't gone and seen Damien Rice, if you hadn't been good at it, where would Ed Sheeran be today? What would you have done?
It's interesting because I did my parents worked in art when we were little. They used to put on art exhibitions and did a lot of art education in schools and stuff like that. And I did a lot of art as a kid. And I did my first exhibition in London this week, and my parents came down to it. And I spoke to my mum, and she was like, "It's weird seeing this because that's kind of what we thought you might do." I'm not saying I'm an artist, but yeah. So maybe that I probably would have like got a bit more into that.
Picking up a guitar, being good at it, and then writing a gazillion songs, they don't necessarily go hand in hand. Did you always?
I think they definitely do go hand in hand. I think you have to write a gazillion songs once you pick up the guitar to write a good one. So I think that, yeah, I mean, everyone who picks up an acoustic guitar at some point will probably try and write a song, and it probably won't be great. But then the next one might be a little bit better, and the next one might be a little bit better, and it just improves. I'd liken it to anything that you want to become an expert at. You just have to do it a lot and fail, and not be embarrassed when you do fail and try again. Like, we write rubbish songs even now, and you just have to get over it and then just keep chasing the good ones.
How definite are you that you have a good one when you've got a good one?
It's the feeling. It's pretty certain. It's the feeling you get. And that's kind of what you're chasing more than the good song. It's the feeling around it. I think that there's no like better feeling. It's like way better than being on stage or like do you know what I'd liken it to? Speaking to footballers, is scoring a goal. It's the like that you get this like rush of like endorphins and adrenaline, and it happens when you sort of hit on a song. It's like in the first 10 minutes of it, and you hit on it, and you kind of just feel like you don't want to mess the moment up, but also you want to finish the song, and it's an amazing feeling. And I'd say it's only really happened 20 or 30 times in my lifetime. Like, it's not a hugely common thing, once or twice a year, but it's super exciting when it happens.
Yeah, without sounding esoteric about it, it sounds like it's speaking to you, because it's not you're not waiting on other people's feedback.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of fans
Well,
or an
also,
audience.
have you seen? I know Van Morrison talks about it, but Chris Martin talks about it as well, where you feel like the song has like dropped out of thin air onto you. Like it really just feels like, and this is why we do this set up a lot in different houses. We'll like rent a house and set up a studio, and I feel like all of the songs that were in Abbey Road, for instance, have already been taken out. Like all of the songs that were in that room, whereas each place that we go to has different songs in them, I feel. So yeah, I kind of believe in that as well.
Have you ever, do you know how many songs you've written?
Thousands.
They don't just drop on you, they come out of you.
No, I'd say you continue. I would say you, like, you're only lucky when you're like in it and trying. I think like I would say I chase songs every week, and I'll have some weeks where I won't get anything, and some weeks where you'll get like an 8 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. But I'm writing all the time to allow that to happen. Like, you don't write a good song by not picking up a guitar. You know, you have to always pick up a guitar. It's like when you speak to people who write scripts, you have to like start it. You can't, you think all the time, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? You have to at least start it, and then you can like tweak it afterwards. So, yeah, I always pick up a guitar and try and write a song every single day. And sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not.
So it's not a compulsion. It's a drive. It's about getting better and creating.
Yeah, I think it's an addiction. I think it's an addiction to music and creating and having to do it. And I think that's where albums like Subtract happen, because it's less of a like, this has happened to me and therefore I'm going to go in the studio and write an album about it. Like, I was writing the album anyway at that time, and it was just a free flow of ideas that came out, and then the collection of songs happened. So I think you just have to be in it for these moments to happen.
Did you ever dream, as that 11-year-old, dream of the success you've had?
No, I don't even think as like an 18, 19-year-old had dreamt of this success. Playing stadiums is not a normal thing for singer-songwriters. It's not like that's not within the culture of singer-songwriters that I grew up listening to. Like, the most you would do would be like a 5,000 cap theatre. So that was my ceiling. Like, when the conversation of playing Wembley Stadium 10 years ago happened, it was sort of like, well, it's a bit weird, isn't it, to stand with an acoustic guitar? Like, I just didn't think it would work. So yeah, it's becoming way more normal now, but I wouldn't say, I think Bruce Springsteen is the only one, and that's more electric guitar, a bit rocky. Yeah. So yeah, it just wasn't a common thing with the singer-songwriters that I was listening to.
For you personally, would you give any of it back?
I think it doesn't work like that. I think to be within the public sphere, you have to take it all, the good and the bad, and I think that's kind of the unofficial handshake. But I think I would definitely want a more normal life for my kids in terms of going, like, I've never taken them to a zoo, for instance. Like, I would love to take them to a zoo. They've been to zoos, but just not with me. But like, yeah, I'd love to do that sort of stuff. Push them in a park in London without wearing a ski mask.